Morning. Here I am having my coffee, ready to read you chapter 3 of Toby's story. So chapter 1, Toby was born, talking about his brothers and sisters. Chapter 2, Toby's brothers and sisters started going away, and he was the last one left. Do you remember why? Chapter 3. It was a few days after that I heard a car door slam. I was dozing in the shade of the small house where only my mother Sadie and I live now, and I look up to see Walt walking toward our pen with a tall woman and a girl. I saw your sign out front that said dog free to a good home. But oh dear, a beagle? He's so cute, the girl cried. Oh, look at him. I looked at her. She had dark brown hair that curled around her face and freckles scattered across her nose and cheeks. I wondered how they taste. He's adorable, Mona, the woman said, but a beagle's not the right breed for us, I'm afraid. They have so much energy. They need to run all day. That's just not going to work. Oh, the girl said sadly. She was staring at me through the wire of the pen, and I stared back, swished my tail back and forth hopefully. Was this my family come to get me at last? Well, Toby's not your usual beagle, Walt said. Sweet little guy, very friendly, but he doesn't seem to want to run or chase much of anything, so I can't sell him off as a hunting dog like I did his brothers and sisters. I'd hate to have to put him down. The girl gasped. But I don't have room on this place for a dog that just wants to lie around, Walt finished up. A dog that wants to lie around is just what I need, the woman said. Mona's dark, wide eyes seemed to get wider. Really, Mom? Walt looked hopeful. Doesn't bother you that he's a beagle who doesn't run? Well, it's hard to explain, Mona's mother answered, but I do believe he's going to be perfect. We'll take Toby. And that is how I left Walt in the ranch and my mother and found myself riding along in the back seat of a car, held close in Mona's arms. She felt warm and smelled excellent. Sweat from her skin, something delightfully salty and sweet on her breath, berries in her curly hair. I squirmed so I could get my nose in every wrinkle of her shirt and every crease of her neck. I licked her freckles, which did not taste like much after all, in her mouth. She laughed. Mom, he's so friendly. He's going to be perfect. Let's hope so, her mother answered from the front seat. The car had glass windows, and when I was done smelling and tasting Mona, I wiggled over to put my paws up on one of them and see what was outside. Everything was moving. Trees and bushes and other cars went past in a bewildering blur. I had no idea the world moved so quickly. Then the car stopped, and the world stopped with it. Holding me snugly, Mona wiggled out of the car. We were outside a very large building. Can I help you, Willow? I'm reading. They were outside a very large building. I was used to seeing Walt come in and out of this house, but this building was much bigger. When we went inside, I discovered something remarkable. The building was full of people. Did all buildings have this many people? There was a sort of table in front of us with a woman sitting behind it. She was laughing in an astonished way as Mona put me down on the floor. The cool tiles felt so good on my itchy feet. I was tempted to lie down and give the pads of my paws a good chewing, but there was so much to see and do. For now, I ignored the itching and kept moving. A long hallway ran off in one direction and another in an opposite one. There were doors along each hallway and people. So many people. Some of them were sitting in chairs that had big wheels on them. Some were walking slowly, leaning on long sticks. Others seemed to be hurrying as if they had important things to do. I ran along the hallway, sniffing each new friend eagerly with Mona right behind me. They smelled interesting. Not like Walt. Walt smelled of mud, sweat, food, and other animals. Most of these people smelled of something unusual. Something I never smelled before. I could not decide if I liked it or not. It was not a smell of the outside world I was used to. Really, it just smelled clean. Who would want to be clean when dirty smells were so much more interesting? A few of the doors were open, and when I peeked inside, I saw beds with more people. It was all so overwhelming that I ignored the signs coming from my bladder until they got so powerful that I had to squat right where I was. Toby, not here! Mona gasped. She snatched me up before I even got started and rushed me down the hall and out through a different door from the one we came in. We were in a yard with concrete sidewalks and a smooth lawn. At the far side of the lawn was a tall wooden fence with a few trees and bushes growing next to it. Mona put me down in the grass so I could finish what I was doing. Once I was done, she scooped me up again and cuddled me while I licked her chin. You are going to be a great therapy dog, Toby. I just know you will, she told me. I didn't know what her words meant, but I liked the tone of her voice. I could hear love and approval. I loved her, too. I was pretty sure that Mona and maybe her mother had just become my human family. Listen now, Toby, Mona said. She sat down on the grass with me in her lap, her voice sounding serious. I was a little tired after all the excitement. I plopped down on her legs and nibbled her fingers just a little, so she knows that I like her as much as she likes me. The people here, they need a dog like you. They're old, Toby. She dropped her voice a little, and I could tell she was talking just to me. Too old to live by themselves anymore, so they come here. And my mom helps take care of them. She's a therapist. There are other people who work here, of course, all the nurses and orderlies, and Fran, she's the boss. But see, people can't do everything. People can't give patients their medicine and help them into wheelchairs and stuff, but they can't really make them happy. That's what you do, Toby. You can make people happy. And I'll help you, okay? We'll be a team, you and me. I liked Mona very much. She tasted delicious. She was very good at scratching along my spine and behind my ears. On my second day in my new home, she brought me a collar with a tag that rang like a bell when I shook myself and jangled when I ran. And the best thing about Mona was this. She talked to me all the time. I didn't understand her words, but I was delighted by her tone of voice. It told me that she loved me and trusted me, and she thought I was important. Out of all the people in my new home, she was my favorite. But I liked all the people, and I met more and more of them as days went by. There were the people in the chairs, the people in the beds. I visited them regularly. Some fed me treats, which was excellent. Some pet me and talked to me, calling me by my name. Toby, come. Here, Toby. Where's Toby? Good dog, Toby. I like hearing my name over and over in so many voices. I liked having so many people to greet each day. When I was tired or my feet needed a good chewing, I'd lay down beside a chair or bed, and sometimes Mona or her mother would pick me up and put me on a lap or on a soft blanket next to someone who was lying down. I'd take a snooze there, only waking up if my feet itched so badly I couldn't stay asleep. Since I was tired a lot, it was good that my new house had so many laps and so many beds. Good dog, Toby, Mona's mother said one day, stroking me as I lay in a bed next to a woman with white hair and very soft skin that gave off a smell of flowers. Another woman had come into the room and stood there with folded arms. She had gray hair, cut short, and was short and thin, with a frown. I was skeptical about this whole therapy dog idea, Patsy, she said. I was starting to understand why that Mona's mother had two names, Mom and Patsy. It was confusing, but people are like that. They hardly ever do things the simple way. But I have to admit, you've got me half convinced. That thing isn't half as much trouble as I thought it would be. He's perfect, Fran, Mona agreed, rubbing my ears. He just wants to lie around, and that's what we need him for. I think we can start some real training very soon. The second woman, Fran, stood watching me for a little while longer. She stood the way another dog does when he wants someone to know he's in charge, very straight, as tall as she could. Her voice sounded in charge, too. She talked quickly and firmly and a bit louder than Patsy. I understood that she was the boss, and I lowered my head a little and wagged my tail at her to show I would not try to question her leadership. When the white-haired woman began very quietly snoring, Mona came and took me outside to the lawn, and I'd left a puddle soaking in the dirt. I flopped over to gnaw at one of my back paws, which was itching fiercely. Someone inside pushed the door open. A tall boy came out. I could tell he was young, not a man yet. Puppies don't look or smell like grown-up dogs, and young humans are the same. The boy had brown hair, lighter than Mona's, that flopped into his eyes. which were squinting a bit in the bright sunlight. "Hey, a puppy," he said, and I could hear the pleasure in his voice. He came to kneel beside us. "Can I pet him?" "Sure. That's his job, being petted. Want to hold him?" She scooped me up and dumped me in the boy's lap. My foot was still itching, and I was ready for a nap. But I knew I should greet this new person. I got my feet on his chest and licked at his face, tasting something salty and delicious on his mouth that he must have eaten for breakfast. He laughed and used both hands to scratch my back and rub my ears. Once I was done tasting him, I lay down in his lap and closed my eyes. Mona and the new boy talked a while his hands stroked my back. "So, are you visiting someone?" I heard Mona ask. "Yeah, my grandfather. He's moving in." "Do your grandparents live here or something?" "No. I mean, my mom doesn't live here. She works here. She's a therapist, and I come on the weekends a lot. I help out with Toby." That's this little guy's name? Toby? I thumped my tail sleepily when I heard my name. "Starts with a T, just like mine. I'm Tyler." "I'm Mona," Mona said. I wagged a bit for her name, too. There was a moment where neither of them talked, although it felt like both of them wanted to. "So, Toby sure seems calm for a beagle," the boy said. "Yeah, he is. That's why we got him. He's going to be a therapy dog." "Cool," the boy said. "Are you training him?" "You must be really good at it. I mean, they don't let kids train dogs usually, I guess." "No, I'm not a real trainer or anything. I've just read some books and stuff, and I like dogs. I want to do that when I grow up, though. Train dogs? I love dogs." "Me too. Wish I had one at home. My mom says maybe someday, but I guess it's better not to have one right now. We're going to be coming here on weekends a lot, visiting my grandfather, making sure he's settled in okay." "That's good." Mona reached a hand out to pet me. I sighed. Some of the people here, they don't get a lot of visitors. It's really sad for them. Toby's going to help with that. Dogs are great company. "Yeah, for sure. Hey, can I take Toby to meet my grandfather?" "Sure you can. He loves new people." Maybe you could come too?" Even half asleep as I was, I felt a funny sort of heat come over Mona. She seemed not sure what to say. But when I half opened one eye to peek at her, she was smiling. "Yeah, okay, sure. You carry Toby." Alright guys, so that was chapter 3. And if you're in my class, make sure you do your chapter review. And have a wonderful day. Get outside and play.